opportunity, I think, to not just give a Pacific flavour to the Rugby World Cup, but also to try and attract the level of engagement that we wouldn't normally achieve. And that's best exemplified by the fact that we have both the United Nations Secretary General, Ban Ki-moon, coming, and the President of the European Union Commission, President Barroso. I mean, the level of representation that we've seen coming to Auckland this week is very high. And the challenge is to turn that into a level of conversation that has meaningful outcomes for the region. Look, I read the traditional Fiji build-up before this with the Engaging Fiji Forum held in Suva in the last few days. We're not too fussed about that. I think that the mood we've detected around the region for a number of years now is that rather too much time has been spent at regional meetings, particularly forum meetings, talking about Fiji for no good result, when there are other challenges the region needs to get on and face. And I sense very much a similar mood doing bilateral meetings with the Prime Minister yesterday, that there's a sense here that we've got quite a lot on our plate as a region. We can't afford to get distracted, and Fiji is at the end of the day a distraction. I don't think you can assert with any credibility at all that we've seen aid achieve the results that we should have aspired to within the region. And the statistics that are quoted on a regular basis underline the fact that there are people in the region who are living in circumstances that are probably worse than anywhere else in the world apart from sub-Saharan Africa. And I think that the message for us is not just that we need to put more resource into the region. The statistics asserted by Dr. Wesley this morning make it very clear that on a per capita basis the Pacific is already the beneficiary of significantly more aid than, for example, Africa. But the challenge is for us to try and turn the resource that we have from the larger donors, Australia in particular, New Zealand, EU, the multilateral organisations, into a more coordinated push in the sectors that can be game changers for the region. And in my remarks this morning, I've tried to assert three in which New Zealand is particularly focused, and three other areas in which we believe there's critical work to do to make those as successful. Now, it may be that there's some debate about what the key sectors are for focus, but I'm arguing the important thing is for us to focus on some areas that can make a difference and get on with it. There's rather too much time being spent within this region going to the conferences, collecting the per diems, and then retiring until the next round. This is the time where we actually need to challenge ourselves to get some concrete runs on the board. I think in my message to the gathering this morning, I've been very clear that more is required of both Pacific nations themselves and the donors. And I think that there's a level of honest conversation that's required between the two. And I think that this is a very useful opportunity for us to take a step down that path. There's rather too much sort of diplomatic speak that occurs around the edges of these meetings. I think in areas like the fishery sector, where we've got the last healthy fishery on Earth, and over half the world's tuna catch coming from it. This is a resource that's actually in need of some serious attention. As a region, we've got to get on and do some stuff in that respect. We've got a huge challenge in the area of renewable energy. Virtually all of the regions dependent upon fossil fuels at a time when it's been blindingly obvious that we need to, for both climate change reasons and economic reasons, see a shift occur. Well, the reports lying all over the Pacific about renewable energy, but nothing much being done. And the challenge is for us to actually translate some of this into action. Well, of course, New Zealand's got a free trade agreement with China. We've seen our own trading relationship expand significantly. Now our second largest partner behind Australia. I think exports up about 100 66% in 3 years, and rising it by about 40% this year over last year. So there's a strong foundation there, and I strongly argue that New Zealand should be one of the countries that is best placed to embark on joint projects with China in the Pacific. I think we are seeing an attempt by China to play a constructive role within the region. The challenge is to try and translate that into more partnerships, greater transparency, greater cooperation. So it's work in progress, but I take the view that China is doing in the Pacific what it is doing everywhere else in the world. It's looking for resources that it needs to access. It's looking to make sure that its interests are understood as a global player. Well, we need to meet them halfway and make sure that we turn that into a more cooperative effort within the region. Well, New Zealand's relationship with the United States has been subject to some challenges over the last 25 years or so. And what we've tried to do as a government is to stop focusing on the things that we disagree about and forge a new contemporary relationship, a new sort of partnership with the United States, which has significant implications, of course, for our friends in Australia. And so we've, as a government, got past any sense of ambiguity about ANZUS. We've made it clear that we don't want to join a security relationship in that sense. We don't want to join the alliance. We want to have a different form of relationship that involves evolution over a period of time, and we've seen substantial steps taken in that direction, firstly with the signing of the Wellington Declaration when Hillary Clinton visited New Zealand last November, but also in a variety of smaller ways as we've seen the new partnership emerge across the various government services in which we cooperate.